So apparently, I don't know. I have never been to the Essence Festival. I ain't got ticket money like that, but I have been to a lot of music festivals. And in particular, this one is getting a lot of backlash. People are not happy. People want their money back. People are mad at Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill is a part of the group called the Fugees. I mean, some of us grew up listening to the Fugees, and people are not just not happy. And so I want to get into some of the things that happened. First and foremost, R&B singer Stephanie Mills, who I think is very much underrated. My parents used to listen to her. She also criticized it, and she was a part of it. So let's get into this. Singer Stephanie Mills slams the 2025 Essence Festival for deeply problematic issues. Her social media post cites a number of logistical and technical problems that she says negatively impacted her performance. So this is Stephanie Mills here. She's a very short little lady. But she made a lot of hits back in the day. I just feel like she was very much underrated. Now, let's see what happened. She said her Essence show clearly did not go as well as she would have liked. The challenges I encountered were multifaceted, and in my view, indicative of a broader organizational shortcoming. The scheduling and time management were severely lacking, creating a chaotic and stressful environment backstage. This disorganization cascaded onto the stage, impacting the flow of the event and ultimately diminishing the quality of the performance. She went on to say it was deeply problematic and persistent issues with the sound system at the Super Lounge. This lack of technical preparedness is unacceptable for an event of Essence Festival caliber and prestige. As a result of the technical issues, she wrote, the energy and excitement were repeatedly disrupted, creating a less than ideal atmosphere for attendees. So I do just want to add something here, because I see people do this. One thing I do want to say, guys, when you're attending these festivals where there's multiple acts that are performing musically, just one thing to keep in mind. When these sound issues happen, it's very easy to point at the artist. The artist is not a sound engineer. The artist is not involved in that type of production. They are there just to perform, sing. If they have to play an instrument, they're there to do that. But when it comes to the sound equipment and the sound engineering, the artist is usually not involved with that. And what I saw happen after this festival is that a number of people were criticizing Lauryn Hill. People are criticizing, I guess, Stephanie Mills as well. She came forward to let people know, hey, I have no control over that. I have nothing to do with that. But apparently what was happening backstage somehow transferred to the energy on stage as well. And this is something I want to mention to people. You got to keep in mind, when you're in the audience, you don't know what's happening backstage unless you get a backstage pass. So there's all kind of crazy things that happen at these concerts. I knew a friend that was also a roadie at one point. The things that go on backstage, it can be crazy chaotic back there, but you being in the crowd, you would never see it. And the idea is that whatever happened backstage, you shake it off and you go out and perform on stage. But if the sound issues persist while the artist is trying to perform, yeah, that is going to turn off the audience, but the artist has no control over that. That's not the only problem that people had with this particular festival. Let's go ahead and get into this conversation here on the Isaiah Factor. Check it out, fam.
There's a list of complaints, including Target being a sponsor despite the company's rollback on DEI policies. People are also upset about some of the musical acts. Lauryn Hill reportedly did not hit the stage until 2:30 in the morning, playing to a nearly empty Caesars Superdome. Some fans are asking if Essence Fest has lost the plot and tarnished its legacy. Joining us to talk about it, comedian and radio veteran Nate, Todd Smith, CEO of Regal Media, radio personality KG Smooth, publicist Brigitte Waugh, and Sherry Hendrinos, owner of Boost Marketing, also into public relations. And
let's pause here. The first thing that he went ahead and he said is that Lauryn Hill apparently didn't get on the stage till 2:30 in the morning. First of all, that's past my bedtime. So I don't know what's happening there. People are like, Lauryn Hill was late, but was it Lauryn Hill's fault? This is what I'm saying, right? Like, I've gone to music festivals, I've gone to Boston Calling, I've gone to all these different festivals where multiple artists take the stage, and the timing is supposed to work in such a way that there's enough time for the next artist, their sound people, to get on stage and set up their equipment and get that artist on the stage to perform. But that doesn't always happen. Doesn't always happen. I also have a question about Target. After everything that has happened with Target and the boycott that is happening against Target because of the DEI decision that they made, why was Target sponsoring this event? Don't you just think that might have been not the best idea? It's like again, who's making these decisions? Listen to what the panel has to say.
Crisis intervention. So, KG, you just got off the plane. From New Orleans, from the Essence Fest. What was it like? Because when we see many of the videos, some of the venues appear to be empty. The city just didn't look like it had.
It didn't feel the same. It didn't feel the same. It didn't look the same, but it definitely didn't feel the same. And a lot of what the people were saying is because of the new leadership. I was there at the convention center Saturday, prime time, 3 a.m. Saturday afternoon. Normally that place is wall to wall. It was like a ghost town. I was shocked. I was really shocked. And so I don't know. Some folks are saying the acts. I thought that the lineup was pretty dope each night. Lauryn Hill being really late on Friday night, that wasn't her fault.
That's part of the course, though.
That's the norm. That's the norm.
But it's not her fault this time. They actually started egregiously late, and it's Target being a sponsor, the title sponsor. They know folks ain't doing that, but what they're saying is the ownership. You know, that they are trying to do more with the African diaspora and with our Caribbean family and take away the Black American culture that started Essence Fest in the first place.
I'm surprised that this was actually said on that show, because that is also one of the complaints that people had. Some people have been venting about it on Twitter, nonstop on social media. And they said, hey, what happened to this festival? It's totally changed. You're trying to make it, I guess, more like Pan-Africanist or whatever. And that's not what the Essence Festival was before. Also, again, the Target thing to me really rubs me the wrong way. I feel like the artists, if they knew about that, they shouldn't have. I feel like everybody should have taken a stand together and say, we're not going to perform if Target is sponsoring this show. This is what I mean about, coalitions falling apart, because some people will look at this and say, you guys got your boycott. I get it, but I'm trying to make money. So I'm going to agree to perform. Can't have that. You can't, that's the thing. Imagine if that would have happened during the civil rights movement. Imagine all those different things that would have fallen apart, all those different events that would have fallen apart. If they're boycotting in Greensboro, North Carolina, and they're sitting at the lunch counter, imagine one or two people in the group saying, forget you guys, I'm hungry. I'm about to leave and go somewhere else. Then it falls apart. And so I just don't understand why this was even acceptable for Target to sponsor this in the first place, considering what's happening. That rubs me the wrong way. And it should have rubbed them the wrong way. Will they learn from this? I don't know.
That's what the main conversation on the ground was.
And to take Caroline Wanga is the CEO, current CEO.
Yes.
What do you see as the problem here? And is there a problem in your mind?
In my mind, it's not. I hate the diaspora wars and everything. And I've been, seeing all these things and people talking on TikTok and all the different sites. And I feel like they're using a lot of words, just trying to say African booty scratcher on the cool, like just being very negative towards Africans and people that are Pan-African. And I don't like that.
And really quick, for those who are wondering what we're talking about, many say it's more Afro-Africa than it
Yes.
is Black American
Yeah.
and the celebration of the
Yeah.
Black American culture.
Yeah. I mean, the lineup is pretty much all Black American. And I mean, if Essence was up for sale, like a Black American could have purchased it as well. So I think sometimes when things aren't working out or you're being evolving or, you know, just change. Essence started in 1970. The first Essence Fest was in 1995. It is 2025. It's going to look different. America's different. Everything is different. And I think it's a little bit, a little intellectually lazy just to say, well, oh, it's an African that's leading, you know, that owns it. And that's another one that's leading it. So they're trying to change everything. I saw the whole, you know, Jollof versus jambalaya thing. You know, when people always ask me growing up, oh, what is jollof rice like? I would always say it's kind of like jambalaya, you know, because I think everybody eats beans and rice. We season it a little differently, but I think there's a lot of ways to be together than separate. I think that's just.
I get what she's trying to say, but the thing is this, right? So the audience, they're the customers. They're the ones that are buying the tickets. And if they did not like this event this year around, they had an unpleasurable experience, you probably should listen to that feedback. I mean, I don't know what do I know, but I'm just saying that there's a reason why sometimes like companies will do surveys or can you give us feedback about this event that you attended or whatever for people to walk away from performers, the seats that were half empty. That obviously means that people were not feeling the changes that you made to the event. And instead of saying, well, you know, we just, they just decided to do something different a little, you know, did you poll anybody? Did you guys poll the people who bought tickets? Did you send out any type of survey to them or poll to them and ask them if they would like to see those types of changes? From what I understand, like these tickets are not cheap. So I can understand people venting the way that they are. So if people are used to these festivals being one way and they've already bought their tickets, especially for people who go every year, and they've already bought their tickets, and then the next thing that you know, you make these types of changes, but you didn't tell people and they already spent money on it. I mean, that's it, you know, like what the, and the Target thing. It's just, again, who was making these decisions? Who is at the top? Like, who is sitting at the table? Sometimes I ask myself these questions, like what happens when you don't have everybody at the table who should be at the table?
Growing up, oh, what is jollof rice like? I would always say it's kind of like jambalaya, you know, because I think everybody eats beans and rice. We season it a little differently, but I think there's a lot of ways to be together than separate. I think that's just a lazy intellectual argument.
I think that they could have named it something else. Like,
why is everything got to be lazy, right? It's like, you know, it's because you disagree with the argument. It has to be a lazy argument, you know? No, and I talked about this before on the show. We've talked about this multiple times. I think the argument is valid. Like I said, people paid money for a ticket expecting to see what they have seen past years going to this festival. You made significant changes to the festival. People paid money. People needed to know. Because I'm willing to bet you, had people known, and this is why they didn't tell them, had people known ahead of time, they probably wouldn't have bought those tickets. So it's sneaky. And I don't like when people try to be sneaky. You know, they're trying to make their money though, right? Let's continue.
like the taste of the diaspora or something like that, but to make it like they named it the Battle of Jollof, which was very big on the graphic, versus jambalaya in this small ass font.
But was that one thing? Was that one thing out of 3 days? You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah, but that was one thing. Yeah, that was one thing.
And one, you know, there's so many different activations. There were so many different acts. This one thing means that, you know, Africans are taking it over. I don't really, you know, buy that.
All right, Bridget, let's hear from you.
So I'm pretty sure it's not that one thing. I'm pretty sure it's not that one thing. Maybe that's the thing that they remember or what they were told, but it's usually not just one little thing that pisses people off. And I want people to think about something for a second, right? Everybody kind of has their own like theme, their own events and their own cultural events, their own festivals, etc. And I just want you to imagine what it would have been like if this happened to someone else. Take Carnival, for example, right? Like Carnival is a really big festival, really big event. There's one here in Boston. I think the one in Toronto might be the biggest one in North America, from what I understand. Anyway, it has been around for years, right? And for those who don't know, Carnival is like a Caribbean, festival. And like the women, they wear like these like fancy like costumes. And it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a lot of glitter and shine and all that kind of stuff. And they have like a parade and stuff. Like here in Boston, they have a parade. They go through Boston. They've gone through Cambridge before as well. And it's like, that's like their thing. That's their thing. It's their culture. It's their thing. So imagine if somebody came into Carnival and they said, yeah, we're going to do things different this time. And we're just going to have, we're going to add other groups to this that, this is not a part of their culture, but we're going to add them to it. And we're going to start doing things that kind of favor them a little bit more. I don't think Carnival will be okay with that. You see what I'm saying? Imagine if every year they have the Korean festival here. They have the Greek festival. The Greek festival has really good food, by the way. If you're going to go, just go for the food. I mean, if anything, go for the damn food. Anyhow, like the Greek festival, right? Like the Korean festival. Imagine if people came in the next year and said, sorry, we're going to let this said group take over this. And now things are going to be a little bit different. And there was no warning and people paid money. Now, okay, keep that in mind. If I remember correctly, it cost me about $8 to go to the Greek festival. People pay a lot more to go to the Essence Festival. What I'm saying is the people who are upset, the people who paid money have the right to complain. Whether you agree with it or not is besides the point. I used to work in retail. The saying was the customer's always right. Even when I knew they was wrong sometimes, you know what I mean? The whole thing was like, okay, how can I resolve this for the customer? And what I'm hearing on this particular panel is instead of how can we fix it, she responds with, it's a lazy argument. I got a problem with that. I got a little bit of problem with that. Oh my God.
Oh, I mean, I saw different things as I was looking at, doing my own research, and it looked like it's a matter of opinion. Some people say they had a great time. Some people said that, it sucked. And the main thing that everyone said, though, is that Target being the title sponsor was a problem for them because we're boycotting Target. And a lot of people on TikTok and Instagram were like, hashtag boycott Target, and how that wasn't right because it's like they connected it to Caroline because it's like she used to be the head of DEI at Target. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then now they're the title sponsor at Essence. That's for the culture, which is for Black Americans, if you will. And there's been a long time that there's been this confrontation, let's say, with Black Americans and with actual Africans, because it's always been said that Africans don't like Black Americans because we're lazy or, different things of that nature. So it just depends. I think part of that comes from that underlying current that's still there against, with Black Americans and Africans as a whole. So I hate that they're disparaging us with that.
We'll continue in just a second, Bridget. We'll be.
No, we won't be right back, Isaiah. So So you had someone who used to work for the DEI at Target, and they're like, yeah, Target should be a sponsor for this festival. To me, that makes absolutely no sense. Target has been laughing in the activist faces because they signed that deal with Kai Cenat to laugh in their face. Kai Cenat has had some Anti-black comments. We played him on the show the other night. They signed that deal with him as a laugh in their face. Then they go and they sponsor the Essence Festival to laugh in your face. And this is why I said before, walk away from Target. Stop begging Target to put your products back on their shelves. Last time I checked, there are other stores. There's other companies. Start your own. All these big name people that are rolling together, whether it's Roland Martin, Pastor Jamal Bryant, Nina Turner, all these people, you guys have resources. You guys have large platforms. Roland Martin has over 1 million subscribers. You guys have, I don't understand this, man. I don't understand this at all. Get together with all your resources and start your own thing. Make a black Target. I don't know. Make a Target-like store that is black owned. I don't get this at all. Hell, make it a worker co-op. That way each person owns a share of that company. But this whole, we're boycotting Target, but we are going to beg them to bring our products back. That's not how this works. And they're playing in your face. And this is why I said before, I wonder if there's some money attached to this. What is this? What is this really all about? Okay. So they get on there and they say, I'm sorry, this is hilarious. Ray's son said, Blarget. We love you, Ray's son. Whatever you want to call it. But I mean, this is just, look, come on, man. Come on, man. I don't get this. I don't get this. Like I told you, any other festival that is a cultural festival, if you were to come in and take it over and add another group to it and take it over with another group, yes, people would be upset and people would complain about it. Why is this not? Why can't, for the woman who said lazy, why can't you get this through your head? Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.